1 week I'm a partner, months later I'm labeled a danger. The host categorically stated there was no S-word misconduct. And the best part? The person calling you a danger admits they were too busy to actually look at the proof that you aren't one. If you have time to destroy a reputation, you have time to read the truth. Salams, I'm Mostafa from Muslim Marriage Services MMS. Over 2 years ago, I supported and sponsored the Brothers Divorced Muslims podcast, appeared on Series 2, Episode 4, and partnered on marriage events twice. In return, the host thanked me by ruining my reputation by listening to gossip and hearsay. These situations can destroy reputations and mental health, so brothers and sisters, be careful online. So here's the crime. From August to November 2025, I had online interactions with a sister from Scotland. We never met. We were both premier panelists for a well-known Muslim forum and regularly appeared on each other's panels. Despite every message being halal, she made false allegations against me on a toxic live in December. Then comes a meeting. Do you know what you've done to this poor girl's mental health? The panel mocked my standards, banned me, and here's the kicker. The host categorically stated there was no S-word misconduct, so no crime was committed. But I'm still the villain? I gave him full indefinite access to every message proving my innocence. He refused to review them and chose to believe hearsay. Others also have access, so the facts are verifiable. When he says he doesn't have time to review my evidence, he's really saying he doesn't have time for the person who supported his project. What does this tell you about this man? Well, let's see what he was busy doing. Get your popcorn and let's have some fun dissecting this disingenuous email. He says he doesn't understand why I'm reaching out. I'm not clear why you're not clear, because I made it very clear what I wanted. I gave you access to every message I ever sent this woman, so you can see that all my correspondence with her was respectful in tone and halal. I'm not asking you to take a rocket to the moon. This is not rocket science. He says he already told me, through others, not to contact him. and now he's being direct to not contact him ever again. Actually, you are misrepresenting the facts here. Neither sister told me to stop contacting you. In fact, Sister B said you agreed to the meeting as long as the original firing squad, panelists, were there. They wanted the sister who made offensive allegations to be on the panel, and I didn't want further contact with her, so I said no. This condition was unacceptable to both Sister B and I. Don't worry, I keep receipts. MMS is built on verification, remember? The facts tell a different story. She wasn't distressed, she was a fan. She called me her favorite panelist in group chats and even imitated my Black Mamba branding. You don't copy the signature style of a man who's harassing you. He claims that he believes he acted fairly. You know that you are not fair. And that is why I asked you to look at my messages, because every message I sent to the sister was innocent and platonic. I gave you indefinite access to every message I sent this woman because I know that you are not being fair. You categorically stated at the start of the meeting there was no question of S-word misconduct. So why are you portraying me as a danger to women? Why didn't you intervene when I was being called offensive and disgusting names? You are equally complicit in the abuse for not intervening. And let's talk about reality. In that meeting, you and two panelists warned me that if I contacted the sister again, you would pursue legal action. Respect is earned through fairness, not through threats and overreach. This proves you weren't acting as a mediator. You are actively sabotaging my reputation. That isn't leadership, it's character assassination. He says I was given a full opportunity to share my side, both one-on-one and in the group call. You claim I was given a full chance to provide my side of the story, but when someone is ganged upon and bullied, they are often in shock and unable to defend themselves. It is difficult to remain rational and objective when you are being attacked by someone for whom you've got a soft spot. I had a soft spot for this person as a sister and a colleague, and as I showed in my Mastering Online Etiquette video with the screenshots of our messages, that connection was always halal, platonic, and respectful. My initial response was one of intimidation. Because of that soft spot, I wasn't able to fight. I let that person trample all over me. I was called nasty, inappropriate names, despite the fact that every message I ever sent this woman was halal. Having had time to think in the matter since, I realized those names were simply abusive. There was nothing in my conduct to warrant such disrespect. My messages were respectful in tone, never indecent, and not even remotely suggestive. She simply did not have the right to use that kind of language. He insists I shouldn't say that I wasn't given a full chance. It's not about narratives. It's about truth and justice. It was an intimidating environment. If you had actually taken up my challenge and looked at every message I ever sent her, you would have seen that my messages were innocent. We are not playing games. This is about someone's life. This is about truth and justice. He says he skimmed the messages I shared, but doesn't know what I wanted him to see or what my goal is. I have made it very clear that I wanted you to check the messages to see if there was anything haram in those messages. And having seen the messages, you would know there was nothing haram. I wanted you to make sure that everybody knew that. He says that in the group call, I took accountability, and that is the end of the matter. So, in the group call, my initial reaction was a reaction of shock because I was taken by surprise and intimidated into apologizing when I was innocent, considering there was no question of S-word misconduct. I was in a state of shock, and because I had a soft spot for this person, I apologized. When the sister got upset, I should not have apologized because actually I had not done anything wrong. The language that she used was so abusive and inappropriate given that my messages were halal. Then I realized that I should have stood up for myself in hindsight. That is a lesson for all of us. Never apologize just to end pressure if it means accepting a false label on your character. It only gives them a louder megaphone. He says he doesn't have time to investigate further. Very interesting. You had the time to badmouth me to everyone, from forum members to professional charitable organizations we were collaborating with. One of the organizations actually defended me in group calls we have had as they knew about the sister's behavior as she was a spokesperson for them. Those who block me without even asking to hear my side share responsibility for that injustice. If you had time to speak about me behind my back, you had time to review the evidence. Because if you had looked at the messages, you would have seen that every message I sent was halal. Backbiting and gossip are sins. I joined your forum in May 2025. For 7 months, you promoted me, put me on your stage, and had me on your podcast. Yet, less than 24 hours after our meeting in December, you sent a voice note via Sister A saying you were really traumatized, disgusted, shocked, and deeply concerned. You say you are not assigning blame, but you blamed me for nothing. You stated that you are not interested in shaming or exposing me or anything like that or canceling me. That's emotional manipulation, creating a crisis where none existed. All my messages were halal. You claim a fine balance between protecting someone and speaking the truth, yet you refuse to review the evidence proving my innocence. You said in your voice note that I'm a danger to women, and you had to speak the truth and inform another premier panelist, who was a candidate at the marriage event, because she was going to join our guardian council and collaborate with us, and this was well known. She then blocked me. If there is no S-word misconduct, as you categorically stated at the meeting, what truth are you telling others? And the fake review claim. You claimed I asked 2 sisters to lie for testimonials, but that's false. I only asked one sister, a volunteer at the event, for a reference about the security and ethics of our platform, as she witnessed our presentation. She misrepresented that request when she told you, and you distorted the facts further by claiming I wanted fake reviews to label me a danger to women. Everyone can judge for themselves if that's a fake review or just a standard business reference request. But here is another low point. You used your influence to help the sister, who was a spokesperson for the charity, to pressure me to delete my blog written in collaboration with the charity. I stepped back for now, not because you have authority over me, but because I have too much respect for the charity to let your drama disrupt a good cause. You moved at lightning speed to sabotage my sadaqah and my professional standing in the community. This wasn't protection. This was a whisper campaign. Professional sabotage disguised as concern. You chose hearsay over facts and destroyed my reputation while pretending to act in good faith. He says he doesn't want to be involved anymore, and that, like any host, he has the right to block anyone. You've gone around destroying my reputation when you actually have a duty to look at the messages that I sent to see that there was nothing haram. And so now you are refusing to take responsibility and look at the proof of the facts after bad-mouthing me. You have a responsibility to look at the nature of the messages I sent and give me justice, which you have not done. He says that if I have issues with what others said about me, I should address them directly and not him. I have no desire to speak to the person who called me nasty names and had delusions that I was obsessed with her and falsely accused me of disgusting behavior. This is common sense. He says he's upset about a video I made, thinking I implied he and others aren't Muslim. Please stop with the theatrics, because if you were so Muslim, you would follow the teachings of the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:8, and you would actually bother to take the time to look at my messages, because you did take the time to badmouth me to everyone and get them to block me. Well, behave like a Muslim then, and look at the messages, and be fair to me, and give me justice. I have never referred to anyone as kuffar, as I merely pointed out people's behavior which went against Quranic teachings, as Muslims are called to have very high standards. I have had time since then to think about what happened, and I realized that I didn't defend myself properly. I am asking you to look at the messages that I sent. I have given access to every message I ever sent to the sister because I have nothing to hide, but you are refusing to look at the messages to give me justice. You do not have the time apparently to look at the messages and proof of my innocence, but you had time to badmouth me and get people to block me. Do you call that Islam? So please do not ignore the teachings of the Quran and then engage in theatrics, telling me you are appalled that I suggested you are not following the teachings of Islam, because the request is simply to be fair and examine the evidence. He says I lied about being forced to apologize. That was not a lie, because when you are ganged up by people and they are intimidating you and attacking you all at once, you do feel forced to apologize. How do you know how I felt? When they ganged up on me, I was in total shock and a victim of online bullying. He says there are many things in my video that he finds problematic, but he doesn't have the time or energy to go into them. Right. Well, if you say there are things in my video that are problematic, you need to give me examples, and you need to take the time, because you had the time to badmouth and backbite me, and now you're refusing to look at the proof of the facts that my messages were halal and are proof of my innocence. He asked me to stop making videos or posts about him. This is a free country. I can make videos on Islamic topics. As long as I'm not naming your name and you are not being named, I have a right to tell the truth and defend my reputation against slander. I find it very suspicious when I gave you access to every message I sent to this woman, you refused to look at the proof of my innocence. You keep talking about my initial response, which was a response where I was in shock because people ganged up on me, and I felt intimidated, and I was very soft on this person. When the Quran says you've got to give me justice and then you engage in theatrics with your fake indignation, all you have to do is look at the messages. They show I never sent her any haram messages. If you are a Muslim, you do what the Quran says. And why would you not want to look at the proof of my innocence to see that the messages were halal? I gave you access to every message I ever sent this woman, and you refuse to look at the proof of my innocence. What does that say about you? He closes by saying he wishes me the best in my future endeavors. No, you do not wish me all the best. That's why you've been bad-mouthing me and ruining my future, reputation, and business. You are getting others to block me and refusing to look at the proof of my innocence because you really wish me well. Please don't say things you don't mean, mate. Don't be a hypocrite. I am moving forward with MMS with my head held high because the facts are on my side. Those who block me without hearing my side have made their choice. To the rest of you, judge by the evidence, not the whispers. Amin.